This isn't a war of conquest. It's a battle of hearts and minds.
This is not a war of conquest. It is a battle of hearts and minds. And this is what the ISA commander says in Killzone 2, the day they set foot on Helgen soil. That is what he transmits to the military forces. That they are not there to make themselves look great. They are not there to conquer more land. They are there because they believe in something greater than any mere life, any mere person. That they believe in something greater than themselves. That the commander goes on to explain what those values are. In the ISA context, it's truth, justice, and freedom, to quote him. Well, now the Helghast don't believe that. The Helghast believe something very different. Their ideology values bloody death over a peaceful life, as the commander puts it. But it's more than that. It's more nuanced than that, because the ISA cannot picture what the Helghast believe. They aren't able to, because they've never lived in that regime. But the Helghast believe in pride in one's nation. They believe in laying down their life for the Emperor, Vasari. They believe, just because they're not the greatest, that they can strive to be super soldiers and to be sort of a master race. They believe they're a master race. You know, a lot of people compare them to space Nazis, and it's kind of apt, because they do believe that themselves are the master race. So they would be sort of very Nazi-like in reality, I reckon. But to take it away from sort of the Killzone genre and into sort of the context of Roblox, the war with CSP, it needs to be more than just a battle of conquest to show which clan is better. It has to be a battle of hearts and minds. And the reason for this is, over the many years, this genre hasn't, I don't believe this genre has died. It's obvious when you see that both clans are rallying up 200 people each, It's not dead, it's just different. And what's different about it, you might ask? Well, the things that are different with it is that you see less of a focus on the context of why one fights and more on the outcomes. To elaborate, it's more due to the results of winning. So, good KDR, raid wins, showing that you're better than other people and being able to display that in the context of CNG, with screenshots and video evidence. Showing that the enemy have to cheat to win. So, taking all the evidence and leaking of documents and things like that. And just showing that you can fuck with people, really, most of the time. Just showing that you're sort of the big man. This genre didn't always used to be like this. This genre was actually, whilst I'm sure it was just as toxic, it was in the context of my nation's better than yours because you're just flaming and you are dishonourable, and they talked about it as one's nation. There was an element of roleplay which just doesn't seem to be as prevalent. Now VAC was forged in that time. VAC is designed to be a nation of elite fighters, but the one thing they leave out on their description is that it is a nation of elite role-playing fighters. VAC was never designed to be an RCL sports team. It was designed to be a nation, to be an empire, to be a role-playing nation which owned 6 galaxies, now 7, and that was proud to serve its emperor, was proud to lay down their lives on the battlefield, to work together as an elite fighting force. They role-played as an elite fighting force. Now, to role-play as an elite fighting force, you have to be elite, so that is why Vaktovians train so hard. Now, they train so hard just to claw onto the number 1 spot that they declared themselves to be in. Well, nations, whilst they rank themselves in number 1, they don't obsess about it the way that this genre now obsesses about it with its top 5 clans and what have you. VAC isn't designed for this kind of genre. It was never intended to be. The videos of Vaktus making those beautiful speeches were not to help with raid wins. It wasn't to increase his KDR. It was to make people inspired to roleplay more, to take the clan seriously, to emotionally invest in it. And that is something we've lost, and there are many reasons where we can talk about why we may have lost this aspect of the Empire, but it is something we must get back to. It is something that we must embrace again and make it worth fighting for, because this is no longer a war of conquest. It's a battle of those who value roleplay, of fighting with context, of backstory, and of pride in one's nation and affiliation, and those who simply value their own self-aggrandizement, those who value their own personal gain at the detriment of everyone else. This is a battle between hearts and minds.